So this is my guy Boss, man. There's a lot of history of me and my guy Boss. And what I think I love about you, bro, is I just feel like you always occupy a unique space in hip hop where it's like, you know, blessed your brother Ibrahim and what Cole you guys built with Dreamville. I just love how you move. Like you occupy your own space. I just feel like you make your art, and it doesn't have to be like. It's not even competing with. Like, it's dope art on its own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like you occupy a unique space in hip hop. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I was aware of it as I was doing it, but I think it's really helped. Honestly, give me longevity and just keep reinventing myself. Because a lot of times you're kind of training your audience as you're going, what to expect from you. Like some artists end up putting themselves in a box, you know, and they try to go left, and no one wants to hear it, no one wants to accept it. I've been blessed that my audience from day one is kind of looking for that from me. They're looking for me to collab with a FKJ or a Jungle or the Hicks just as much as they're looking for me to collab with Cole and Jid and Saba or Ab Soul. So it's been a blessing for sure.
So who the hell are the Hicks?
Yeah, man. So
because they're good. Those guys are good.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. They're a duo from London. Initially, I actually heard them playing Grand Theft Auto in like 2013, GTA 5. Yeah, they were on GTA Radio. They had this song Cold Air, and I was like, man, this song's amazing. And my boy Diamond, who actually ended up producing like half of Melancholica, the collab album we just put out, he was like, yo, I actually really rock with them. He put me on to them, and then I think it might have been the What Dreams May Come tour with Cole when we were in Europe. I was like, man, I'm in London. Let me just shoot them a DM and see if they'll come link up with me. So I just hit them up on Twitter. We linked up, me and them and Ron Gilmore, who at the time was...
Big Ron.
Yeah, everyone knows Ron. At the time, he was Cole's MD and producing a lot of my stuff, producing for like the whole team. Yeah. So
you say MD, that's musical director.
Yeah, musical director.
Great ear.
Yeah, he's incredible. And we had this Airbnb in like East London, and we hit him up like, yo, come link up here. We got some, we got some equipment. We had a little MIDI keyboard, some speakers. Yeah. A couple tabs of acid. Honestly, me and Ron was off the shits. So it was a hell of an intro because they pulled up and me and Ron are like seeing dinosaurs. It was actually, it was the night D'Angelo came back. Remember when that D'Angelo album dropped, Black Messiah?
Yeah, of course.
It was that night, so we was just tripping back then, taking in the album for the first time.
First listen to Black Messiah.
First listen, it was incredible. Wow. It was incredible. And then the Hicks pulled up, and that night we did this song Ricochet, which ended up being on Too High to Riot. Yep. And that just kind of started the synergy between us, and they ended up touring with me in the States and Europe for the Too High to Riot tour. Yeah. We just built a friendship, a bond. Just
and the Hicks are what, like they're two people?
Yeah, it's a guy and a girl, Roxanne and Sam.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, and they both sing, produce, write. Sam even directed the most recent video we put out called Four Walls. So they're just, super talented creatives. That London scene just breeds a different level of, I think, like musicality. I think it's just part of like their education system. Like they tell me stories of when they were in high school and like they were all in like, music school, art school, and like their teachers were like musicians. And I think things that we undervalue in our education system here, honestly, where it seems like they just invest more in the arts over there, like publicly. And they're
taking music out of fucking high schools and shit, right? Like,
here, right? Yeah, it's crazy. So, they're like a product of that whole London like musical scene.
How did it land up like do a full project with them?
Yeah, I think the first song we did was Four Walls, and that was like, 2018 maybe. Like it could have been on Milky Way. It just didn't fit the vibe, And it just kind of birthed this idea of like, man, we need to build this whole world. I'm a fan of those albums where, all right, if I want to go there, I always like to point to like Frank Ocean's Blonde, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. And it's like, if I'm on a road trip and I want to go to that place, there's only one album I'm playing, you know? It's not like you can just put on, A-list or Rap Caviar and just, run those songs and run. It's like, no, I need to be teleported to this like specific place, So we wanted to build that world together. And It took a lot of collaboration, a lot of guys involved. Ron played a huge role. He kind of helped tie a lot of it together.
Yeah.
Again, Diamond and his production partner, Alex, my guy, K Quick. Just a whole host of just our core, like, people that came together and just invested
Were you doing it in London or all over the place?
all over London.
Gotcha.
We did some London sessions, some Paris sessions. We did some New York sessions. We did
My
some
guy,
LA
Boss Passport
sessions.
game is strong out here. Man.
Yeah. I'm a few books in, you know. But yeah, it came together like slowly. But I think, you know, the more you have time, and it wasn't so much pressure necessarily. It really helped us just create like something, I think, very unique.
What does the title mean? So it's how do you say the title?
Melancholica.
Melancholica.
Yeah,
what does that mean to you?
It kind of speaks to just chronic melancholy. Sam came up with the title. I think that's a place we speak from a lot on the album. It's very pensive.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable, but it's like a bit apathetic in a way. You know, it's like we speak a lot about just longing for connection, and it's something we see in like the current human condition in a sense where it's like we're just overstimulated, you know, overconnected, but technologically, not necessarily, you know, those real face-to-face human moments.
Absolutely.
And I feel
really
like
building relationships.
Yeah, really building relationships, really building moments, living in the moment, you know, like fulfilling those things like love and you know, love lost and, you know, people passing on, people leaving your life and really, you know, sitting there and thinking about those moments and how they affect you, you know, and then knowing that our audience has felt all those same emotions. So we just really wanted to evoke. Every song to us was, you know, even if you listen to it, like there's no party record, you know, there's no like real like single, there's nothing we went for that was like a commercially viable thing. It was just like, yo, how do we fully express this world?
Yeah. So why do you view the world that you're trying to express?
Cause you know, I'm living through it. You know what I mean? I'm seeing it. Like, you know, I can go on IG now and feel like, man, damn, you know, I wish I was playing that stage that this guy is playing, or oh, man, I wish this was getting that, or man, you know, I wish this person was still in my life, you know, but you don't really express those things to anyone, you know, you kind of keep all those things to yourself. But I always find that in music, the more vulnerable you can be, the more it resonates with people, because those are the same thoughts that others have. You don't have to be a musician to feel like, oh man, I feel stagnant in my career, or oh man, I feel, you know, I'm longing for a better standard of living. I want more for myself. You know, I miss this person. You know, I want to reach out to this person. Or you know what I mean? You might see someone on the subway and you're like, man, I don't know why I'm drawn to this person. I would like to have a connection with you. You know, irrelevant of anything romantic, whatever.
No, I get it,
You know what I mean? And we're in this world where it's like people can go online and cut the camera on and be like the most personable thing.
Present well.
Yeah, right? and then in person, it's like we're lacking that ability, you know, to really...
But why do you think that... I think vulnerability has been such a key thing in your music, like throughout the whole thing. And I think when I went to your show a couple nights ago, it's like your connectivity to your fan base, I think, is based off that, like in such a way. Like it's such a real unique, organic space to be in, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and honestly, that's a credit to Dreamville, you know, to keep it a buck, and Cole.
What the brand represents.
And the precedent they set, you know. I remember when I did my Interscope deal, and this is probably the only time I was in the building with Cole and Eve, and we walked in there and had a meeting with the whole staff, and Cole off rip is like, yo, we don't want our artists chasing this, chasing that. We want them to make bodies of work that like truly express themselves and who they are. And then obviously I got a firsthand seat to Cole's come up and seeing, you know, all those kind of emotional pulls and strings that he expressed in his story, you know, and seeing how the kind of bonds you could build, you know. So I think maybe if I didn't have that, I may have gotten caught in the trappings of like, yo, I got to be more like this, or I got to be more like that. But I was like, I came from a family that did it in a very honest, vulnerable way, you know. And even when everyone was you know, I remember them first couple years when we were running around with Cole and everyone's like, yo, they got you on the shelf, you ain't driving this and that, you know? And we were touring the world and seeing it firsthand, like, nah, this is real, you know what I mean? So I think we've all believed in that, like, just that's kind of part of the core Dreamville ethos.
Yeah, I love when you was the comfort levels. You pop your shit with the how my boys.
Yeah, running up amok. Yeah, shout out to Eve, man.
Again, Eve, everybody with the whole battle, everybody's like, who's Anthony Slay? Who's these people? Like, we know there's certain people behind the scenes that are forces in the culture and make things happen.
Right.
Can you speak to your brother? Let's give him his flowers, man. Like what he's done in the culture, like Ibrahim Hamad, like for real. Man,
these dudes. You know, that's why we're very protective of Eben Cole, because of what they've done for all of us and the way they've done it. Like, I'll tell you something they might call me and be angry about because they don't want anyone to know, you know.
Because I'm going to ask you about 7-minute drill and all that shit. I'm going in, man. We doing it all. Let's go.
We just kind of ended our Universal partnership at Dreamville.
Okay.
And the bros got a nice windfall. You know, when it all came to a close.
Absolutely.
And they didn't owe any of us anything, you know what I mean? And they broke bread top to bottom.
Wow.
You know, like serious bread.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's like, those are the kind of things they've always done.
Yeah,
even
that's
my deal. Even my deal, bro. Like I signed my deal 14. I had signed a 360 deal when like, I don't think Apple Music was even existed.
No, like 2015 was the beginning of the streaming shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
on the eve of the streaming shit.
You know, I got caught in a weird place, you know, with my deal and things of that nature. And bro, I think in the 10 years I was over there's not one time they collected, because every time they would come, it would be Eben Cole like, nah, like, yo, let them eat. You know what I mean? And so it's like
extremely rare.
It don't happen in our industry.
Extremely
people
rare.
don't move like that. And they would probably never want me to tell people this, but it's like, I feel like it needs to be known that these dudes move different. You know, it's something we should all aspire to do in our communities and for the people we're putting on. It's the music industry historically is such a predatory place. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And all they've done is protect every artist on the label.
You speak to that too, like, because again, you guys' background was Sudan, moving to Queens. Like, how much of that is like informed you, like in terms of your life? Like, I know your mom, like the whole thing. It's just like it's rooted in the whole thing.
I actually think that's kind of part of, again, like the core ethos. Like me and E, and even like MoMA, my brother Proof, my parents, my sister.
Yeah,
like,
MoMA's a beast DJing. Like
exactly. And Cole has always been a part of our family and has always been very, very close
little
to us.
light-skinned cousin from Queens.
Yeah. And
Carolina, Queens.
And he'll be the first to express like his admiration for my parents and for our family. You know, he's done that many times to us, you know, and I think that's part of the reason we almost brought like a immigrant sense of community to Dreamville. You know? Like it was always about, you know, how do we put on, if you know any immigrant community, if you live in New York, you know, you've seen it. Like it's you know, you can go to Douglaston and see all the Koreans and the Korean stores and how they invest in each other. You know, you could. I grew up in my neighborhood. There was a lot of Bangladeshis and there was a lot of Jewish stores, and it's like you see all of that. And I think there's something about the immigrant mentality where it's like, by any means we have to uplift the community because we're here and we kind of have our backs to the wall, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of made its way into the DNA of Dreamville, where it was like, yo, by any means, we're just going to put on for each other.
Yeah, what does this Dreamville mean to you as a brand?
Man, I mean, I don't want to sound like Vin Diesel, but family. Fast and the Furious, family, you know? But it really is that. You know, it's really born of family. You know, I was blessed to kind of be the first artist signed to Dreamville, but in the same token, like I extended myself as well. Like when
you like that little jig guy, he's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. I went on tour with Ab-Soul in 2014, and that's where I met Earth Gang and Jid. We were all on the same tour. And Barry and Zeke from Since the 80s, shout out to them. They've been managing them their whole careers. They were 5 deep in a Chevy Traverse. And we did 52 cities in 55 nights.
Wow.
It was a brutal run, but you know, like every night, me and Soul were splitting a bus, and I'd be like, yo, come on the bus, like come drink with us, come smoke with us. It'd be me, Jid, Earth Gang, all those guys, you know, kicking it. Just again, it's like kind of that hospitality aspect. And then, you know, I remember leaving. I think they were kind of already in Cole and Eve, on Cole and Eve's radar, but like I remember coming off that tour, like, yo, these guys are all amazing, you know, performers. They're, you know, amazing rappers, amazing artists. And then Cole had them all come out to the Shelter, which was like the studio we had in North Carolina. And then, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, I feel like even when you did the Dreamville sessions, the Atlanta run, we did that. It just seems like anybody that's affiliated with the label, there is a certain chemistry. It's like it never felt like anybody didn't fit the overall connection, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's how you bring people in and welcome people. I remember those sessions, like, they were like giving everybody
explain
rules.
that for people that may not know, because how many years ago was that now? That's like give people the full context. It's at least 5 years, right?
2019.
Yeah. Because that was huge at that time, too. Like, and again, it wasn't fully planned out. It was just an idea Cole had. And let's get
we did
like,
that. I think we did the
you
sessions in January.
You opened your world up to others in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Dreamville world to others.
Yeah, and I think honestly before that we were kind of very like insular, you know? And I think people got the wrong idea maybe.
Yep.
That we were like closed off when we're actually like mad accessible and open, you know? So that was a good way to kind of showcase to all our peers, like, yo, this is a happy place. This is you know what I mean? This is a safe space. You can come here and create, you know, and honestly, that I remember I was doing shows in South Africa, and they were like, "Yo, we're gonna do this in January." So like, I cut my trip short, and I flew back
to Atlanta, right?
To Atlanta, yeah. At Tree Sound Studios, and we had all the Tree Sound booked out.
Who's old girl with the runs of shit? Fuck her name. Tree Sound.
Molly.
Shout out Molly.
Yeah, shout out Molly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Groove 2 at the time. Groove was one of our big hosts, so shout out to them. Yeah. And then I remember landing, I swear to you, I got to the studio, I still had my bags, and I just walked into the A room, and Jid was recording Down Bad. And I was like, Jid, you got
pretty good record.
Yeah, I said, Jid, save me a verse. He was like, I got you. And that was the first verse I did, you know, Down Bad. So,
oh, for real?
Yeah. That was the first one. And I was like, you know, and I love working with Jid for that reason, is because like you hear Jid rap, you're like, I gotta fucking rap.
Yeah.
I can't follow that with some bullshit, you know? And that's kind of the beauty of working.
I gotta have bars, right?
Yeah, I gotta have bars. You know, and then I did a song with Ari, and you're like, you know, and now it's like, okay, I have to shift to another side of my artistry, you know? And so I think, you know, that was the dope part, is it brought something out of everyone. You know, I remember they kept putting me in there was a lot of rooms. Everyone has a different process, you know? So Cole was like tucked in the back with like T minus. And you know, I think Middle Child.
What's Cole find a producer that he liked? It was
it's over. It's just no one else is working with Minus today. You know, he's in the back. No, but you know, they were cooking up back there, and then, you know, Jid had a room, Ari was upstairs, and like Eve knew that I probably have the most open process.
Yeah.
Like,
what is your process?
I was in the A room every day because it's like 10 deep, you know. But that's how we did Costa Rica. It's like, you know, we were in there, and you know, I noticed instantly that it was like 10 rappers. I'm like, we're not finna do 10 16s on here. This is crazy, you know. Guap had a fire hook.
Guap.
Reese Flair, I think he had the first verse. And then we're like, yo, like, let's just do 8s, you know. Like, Guap did his 8, and it was like, all right, this is gonna be the hook. And it was like, yo, everyone else just do like 8 bars. And we sat in there, and like, you know, some dudes would do something, we might edit it. Like, it was a very open, even writing process. Like, we're, you know, throwing bars around, and the energy in that room. There's a video somewhere, I gotta find it, but like, we ran it back that night like 20 times, and it's like all 30 of us going crazy.
You know when you hit it. Yeah.
Those moments are special, you know, those moments are really special. I find that you can do a lot on your own in the studio, and that's necessary to kind of get in that headspace and provide that. But I think there's a certain magic that comes when you can put all these people in a room and they're like, just feel free to express themselves.
And you feel like when you're music making, you're more approachable in terms of creativity of it? Yeah,
I think I've always had an open process, you know, and I think it's because I started kind of late, and a lot of guys around me that were more experienced and more musically inclined, whether it was a Cole or Ron Gilmore, you know, or Sed, or all these guys that were kind of instrumental in my artist development. You know, they all, you know, I was a child of that. I was a child of the Dreamville, like, before we were Dreamville, you know, of all the parts coming together and being like, damn, you know, Boss is kind of starting off, but he's pretty dope. Like, let's put some energy into this. Ron teaching me about chords and you know, now when I'm in the studio, post-production, you know, think about live musicians. Oh, like, obviously now I'm a lot further in, and you know, I kind of keep tidbits of all that knowledge and apply it on my own. But I was kind of born of that collaboration, so my process has just always been open. Yeah.
When did it click that the idea of like, I want to be a music star, a rap star, like that type of thing?
Yeah, honestly, I just, it was my first creative form of expression, you know? Like, I grew up, you know, my parents were immigrants, you know what I mean? They come from Sudan. There's some more probably conservative background and like growing up here. And so, you know, it's like the stereotypical immigrant thing. You got to be a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer. Like, you have to secure, you know, like financial, you know, like security, essentially.
Stability.
Stability, exactly. And like just the generations have to like improve and things of that nature. But, you know, I think I remember when E was dropping out of school to manage Cole, and like my parents were shook, and they're like, "You think it's a good idea?" Like, and I'm like, I think this one's gonna work out. I'm like, this guy's pretty good. Yeah, a little bit. It worked out. This guy's pretty good. Yeah. You know, so I lost my train of thought.
No. Being a star, the idea, focus on your music. The goal of like, I can make it as a musician.
Yeah, no. So
the belief.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say where it started for me is like, first, I just got addicted to the creative form of expression. Because like I said, we didn't grow up like getting pushed into the arts, or like, you know, I didn't draw, I didn't play an instrument. I failed music in high school. Like, I went to summer school for that shit. Like, I was, you know, like, it wasn't like something that
summer school boss.
Yeah, even though like I you know, there's actually my mom's side of the family has crazy musical legacy in Sudan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Dope.
Yeah.
So music was kind of in the DNA.
It's like really, really rich, especially on my mom's side of the family.
Dope.
And, you know, I think it's kind of showcased itself in our generation.
Yeah.
But from there, I remember there was a song I did. It was called Attica. It was on like my very first mixtape.
Yeah.
I just like ripped some beat off YouTube, and I did a song. And I remember I had sent it to Ebe, and like they were on the road. This was like really early. I had sent it to Ebe, and then I got a call from Cole like randomly. He was like, "Yo, my nigga, you know what you just did? Do you know what you just did?" And I was like, "Nah, not really. Like, I'm just fucking around. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it out." And he's just like, "Nah." He's like, "Bro," he's like, I remember he was like, you got like the hardest part down, which is like, I know you and I hear you. You know, like it's like your authentic self." And honestly, I listen to that shit from that period now, and I cringe. Like it's so amateur to me, right? But I remember Cole was like, "Man, I can't wait to see where you're gonna be like in 2 to 3 years if you really like apply yourself to the craft." You know, and I think 3 to 4 years after that is like when he signed me to start the whole Dreamville thing. You know, so that was kind of prophetic in a sense. You know, but it was never on my mind like, yo, I want to be like a rap star. It just started with, man, I really enjoy expressing myself. Like I had no other creative outlet. And you don't even realize, I tell people now, I don't care if you know, work a 9 to 5 at the bank. You know what I mean? It's just healthy. It's part of, I think, a complete human experience to have some form of creative outlet. You think music helps you open up in ways you probably couldn't open up in real life? Absolutely. There was things I was writing in songs that my friends would hear and be like, damn, like, I never knew like you felt that way, or I never knew you went through that. And I was like, shit, I don't know if I knew myself, you know, or if it was just something I'm repressing, and now that I'm here opening up and writing, and it just kind of flows out of you. So I think that's the first thing that really grasped me, you know. It was like, man, I grew addicted. I was waking up every day like, I need to write. And, you know, honestly, then I just had good guidance. I got lucky in that regard, you know. It's like I had the right people around me to be like, yo, you could really do something with this. My manager, Derek, you know, who went to school at NYU for advertising, was working at like an ad agency, and he like quit that to manage me, you know.
Oh, wow.
like
I didn't know this.
for my yeah. And me and Derek went to high school together. We met playing high school football, you know. So again, and now, you know, Derek is probably Ebe's right hand for the past 10 years and just managing, you know, our vast like roster of artists. So, you know, it just
humble brag right there, man.
Yeah, you know, it just but again, it comes back to that family thing. Like everyone has kind of been around.
Yeah.
Going on 20 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm again, like, I just got to tip my hat to that. I'm a product of that. It was never like, I want to be a rap star. It was like, first is your friends around you kind of gassing you up.
But Cole always, like, he always inspires us. Like, it's almost like a Hove to Bleak thing of, like, he wants you to be the biggest thing. Like, he's always in your corner, or, like, he wants you to be as big as you can be. Like, how do you receive that? He always will broadcast that to the world.
Nah, absolutely.
How do you receive that?
I mean, it's cool because we never had to force nothing, you know? And so it's like, I've never had to ask Cole to get on a song. He's always heard a song and was inspired and was like, yo.
Nobody got more collabs with Cole than you.
Yeah, exactly. For real. And I'm not ignorant to the fact of what that's done for my career.
I did like a 20-song playlist or some shit. Like, it's insane, right? Yeah.
You know, but the beauty of it is, like, you know, when you have people around you that do so much for you, you don't want to ask. You know, it's just naturally, especially someone like Cole who's doing so much for so many people. So it was always great to me that, like, he would hear a song and be like, oh, nah, I got to get on that one. You know what I mean? That's how I always wanted to have it.
Nigga just made bail.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Was there a favorite out of those songs? Is there a favorite session or some moment where it's like, it speaks to like your connection and your partnership?
I think the Jackie, because I like to speak. There's a lot of people I've worked with. I would say like a handful of people I've worked with that I leave those sessions with like a new superpower.
Oh, wow.
In which then I can go and apply when I'm not working with them. You leave
the session with a superpower.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Jackie, we were working on the off season. And, you know, Cole was on like a strict schedule and there was like 25 minutes left in the session. And he was like, yo, let's just do something new. You know what I mean? Like, unrelated to the album. T-Minus was there.
He wanted to kind of get out of that space.
So he was like, yo, boss, let's just do something new. But he was like, yo, I want you to try something. Like, he was like, don't write nothing. He was like, just take a deep breath and, like, just do, like, what you feel. Like, so yo, bro, when I tell you we did the Jackie in, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Straight up. You know what I mean? And then I left that session like, all right, well, you know, instead of maybe writing all the time, let me maybe just do some top line melodies, you know? Let me grab the SM7 and walk around the studio and just sing melodies. And then, all right, maybe I'll find a bar that pops in. You know, it just helped me kind of add, again, like a new skill to my songwriting. And it was all born out of like, yo, we only had 20 minutes left in the session. And Cole was like, yo, let's try something new. But you know what? Do me a favor, like, try it this way. Like, you know, and I'm like, all right, cool, fuck it, let's do it.
Was it intentional? Because you did play a key role on the off-season album, Cole's off-season album. How did that develop? Was that intentional or it just kind of naturally developed?
It was, I had done the song with FKJ called Risk. Shout out to FKJ, French Kiwi Juice, if you're not familiar. He's an incredible multi-instrumentalist, producer, singer, really cool dude. I had actually sampled him on Milky Way, and that's how our connection started. I DM'd him. I like to hit people up that I sample if they're still around and just express gratitude. Because
after you clear it?
yeah. You gotta clear it first. So he was one of those guys that I DM'd and I was like, man, just like, thank you for letting me use your record, you know? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. He was like, I love the song. And then he was like, yo, let's do a song for my album. So we did a song called Risk, which again, I credit FKJ in the same way for giving me a new superpower because he, you know, helped me develop more in like a kind of like an indie, like a more soulful space, you know, and really tap in. That song is very vulnerable. Vocally, I was trying different things. I started like, you know, really stacking my vocals and singing more and just finding that new pocket because the instrumentation called for it, you know? And Cole heard that and he hit me. He was like, yo, whatever the fuck you was doing with FKJ, he was like, I need that. He was like, I need that on this. You know, he was like, I got three parts I think you'd fit on. And I'm like, what? Hell yeah. I'm like, so I flew to Carolina and we did, was it 100 mil, Let Go My Hand and Hunger on Hillside. And then it was those sessions where we did the Jackie. It was like at the end of one of those sessions, he was just like, yo, let's try this. And again, like I said, like I left that session, and now, you know, a lot of times I'll recall that superpower and be like, you know what? This is a vibe. Let me just try it this way. Give me the mic. Let me walk around the room and just spitball, you know?
What do you even like, just, again, because it's family, right? You guys love each other, it's brotherhood, but just to see Cole's evolution, like from your eyes, how do you view it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just...
Man, just immense pride, you know? More than just success, like the person he's been able to stay, how authentic he is to himself, you know, to what matters to him in the face of the general public or what people expect of you, what people want of you. Like, if it don't sit right with him, it don't sit right with him, you know? And I have, like, tremendous respect for that.
Yeah. So in that tone, like with the 7-minute drill and he pulls it back, it's like, you understand that you support your brother.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I want you to be you, and I want you to be at peace with your decisions as my boy. Like, I don't care about what everyone's talking about, rap battles. Yeah, like if something's not sitting right with you, I've never known you to be someone to compromise yourself, you know? Yeah. So, like, I would be disappointed if you started to now, you know what I mean? And, like, the dude just won't compromise himself, you know? And that's, like, that's very hard to do in our industry.
Are we ever getting the fall off? Ever? Come on, man.
I can't speak on that. I already told you one thing I'm sure I might get called about. So that one's too sensitive.
Let's get back to your album. So, you know, Too High to Ride, Milky Way. Like, so how do you view this current album in your discography? Like, why was this project so important, and how do you view that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a passion project that we've been working on for, you know, almost 8 years, and I think And I think, like you said...
Also, it took a while. Like, so you had a vision of this early. It just took a while to finally...
we started a while.
Get it to the finish line.
They live in the UK to have their own life. You know? And then in the meantime,
Boss, you allow them to have their own life? Yeah. That's how you feel? You allow people to have their own lives and shit?
You know how it is,
You gotta get that music out, man. Fuck that.
But, you know, also, obviously, I was doing a lot of my own stuff. We, you know, in between that, we had Dreamers. I put out some EPs. I put out an album. COVID was in between all that.
Absolutely.
You know, so... but I actually think time helped us really refine the idea, you know, and refine the world. Some of the songs that had to get 86, you know what I mean? You need time to get the clarity to be like, you know what? We're actually creating this, and, you know, this is taken away from it.
Tell me some of your favorite, like, sessions or moments from the album that you feel really capture the essence of what you was trying to achieve.
We did these sessions in Malibu at Harbor Studios. Shout out my boy Zach. You know, unfortunately, the studio, we lost the studio in the fires.
The fires, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I spoke to him, and hopefully he's bringing it back. It's an amazing space, super creative, like very just inspiring place to work. It's just like overlooking the ocean, just beautiful studio, and he was a great host every time. And so we actually camped up there with the Hicks, but we also had, you know, Gala Matthias, who's an incredible producer from Denmark, and like Kelpie Vibes, who's an Afrobeat producer from Lagos. Like all these people from our orbit, you know, Diamond, who's from the Bronx, and you know, has been collaborating with me. He did Housewives, you know, so we've been working together for a long time.
Housewives was hard.
My man Sensei.
Ab jumped too, right? Remix. Ab jumped on the remix,
My man Sensei Bueno was playing guitar in there. He's like part of Wonderland, like Janelle Monáe's whole camp. And he's always coming out and rocking with us. And we did this song, Erewhon. We did a couple songs that
Erewhon.
But...
that's the one you put Saba on?
Yeah, that's the one we put Saba on. We did the outro sometimes, and it's like, that is the most that speaks to me to that whole process, you know, is because there was so much magic. And then obviously Sam from the Hicks and Roxanne, they're producers as well, and they were kind of, you know, and along with Quick, our engineer, they were kind of helping kind of maestro all these incredible musicians that we had around. And, all right, this guy's on the piano doing this guy's on the guitar doing this, you know, this guy's playing some drums over here. It's how I aspire to work, you know. It's just so free, and like, it beats like getting a beat in the email and you're like, you know what I mean? It was just like a very...
You've always been that way, though. Why do you think it's like you're not just wanting to do that? You want to build a real music foundation around everything that you do.
I think it's a lot of stuff I grew up on. You know, I'll probably credit MoMA, you know, as my eldest brother. Yeah. You know, ever since I was a kid, you know, MoMA's had a crazy collection of CDs and vinyls. Yeah. And he would come get me and be like, yo, come listen to, like, I got this new Jamiroquai album. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Or like, yo, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, like all of those things that my older brother put me onto. I didn't realize at the time because music wasn't an aspiration, but you know, you're training your ear with all of that.
Yeah, yeah. So doing a lot. We on tour. We doing a lot of shows.
We're gonna do a few like select shows. Yeah. We want to go to London, obviously.
But that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we gotta go to London. We'll probably do LA, and I'm trying to get a Johannesburg show going. Joburg is.
It's hard to get there?
Nah, it's not, but they're like just a huge base for us, man. They really, They really rock with us, man. So,
you saying you were Dreamville, the whole
the whole crew, the whole crew. They're begging me to bring the Hicks. They're on Twitter like, bring it, you know. So it's tight. I got some good partners over on that side. We're trying to make something happen, but we just want to do like a few select one-offs.
Yeah. You have a vision for the next project yet?
I do, actually. I've been working on it for a little bit.
You gotta tell me. It's all good.
It's coming together. You know, it's too early, but I will say, like, I'm really excited about it for sure. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. But you know, it's about this one right now. You know, it. But I never stop working.
Well, I was gonna ask you, like I was saying, the landscape is so crazy. Everything's off the hinge. Just like, you know, how do you view hip hop as a landscape, and then how do you view your place in it, and like what does success look like to you in this era? Like, what is it's because to me, it's not like we came from the 50 era where it's like the SoundScan says this, but it doesn't define us anymore. So it's like, what does success look like to you?
I think when you have a core base, you know, when you're on this journey and you're always looking for the next like barrier or like glass ceiling that you have to shatter or whatever, you lose track that like, man, I'm here 12, 13 years later, like I'm still touring. There's
young vet. You're a vet.
I'm a vet now. Yeah, I'm a vet. Like, and I'm humbled, and I'm like,
a vet.
I'm gracious for that. You know that they're still looking for.
We've seen cats come and go, man.
Exactly. No one is entitled to any of this. You know.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's success to me, man. It's me, all my family, my friends, all the guys we put on, all the guys that poured their energy into us that, you know, get to reap the rewards, the benefits, you know, traveling the world, getting to engross myself in cultures and you know, that's success to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's that really is. And then obviously, you know, now that I'm pretty much done at Interscope, this is my first album as an independent artist.
Wow. Congrats,
and just now getting that control.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the wave. And don't get me wrong, like, I have nothing bad to say about it.
Y'all did good business.
There's great people over there. Yeah. They really held us down. They helped me build my career to a certain level. And then, you know, they taught me a lot. You know, I learned digital marketing. I learned how to, you know, produce my own videos. I learned how to produce my own content. Then it's like, all right, let me take a step back and do it for myself with me and my guys, you know? So it
kind of all is aligning the right way, I guess.
Yeah, it's empowering.
You couldn't have planned it any other way, really, right?
It's empowering, you know? I'm grateful for like the entirety of the journey.
Yeah. Well, I'm always be attached to the journey. I'll stay in tune, man, right?
Day one.
Tell them about that, right?
Day one, man. For real. For real.
Nah, I respect it, man. Thank you, boss.
Appreciate you.
Real, bro.
Yes, sir.
Back, bro.
Man. Yes, sir.